Hello and welcome to this video explaining the Synergy bill post-solar installation. We will be looking at a live system and also looking at a Synergy bill for that period. So I'll be able to show you what you can do to work out the savings from your system. If you have a consumption meter, which you actually will see this system we're using today does, it's a hell of a lot easier than when you don't have one. However, it's still possible for you to get that estimation of what you've saved on the bill. Now, won't be exact because the reality is even with the consumption meter and without scenario, we don't know what time Synergy reads the meter. So if they're not reading it at the time that we're allowing it, then we do have a situation where there will be a small discrepancy, but it's close enough for you to be comfortable knowing that this is roughly what you've saved on the electricity bill. Now, most commonly, we do get calls of customers who will say, I'm only saving $30 on my bill. I'm only saving $10. Is solar worth it? I've only had a $15 credit. So the big mistake here is what they're focusing on is on the second page of the bill, which is what I've highlighted here. And they're focusing on this area here, which is credits. Now, credits here represent the excess power. Now, the excess power is what has been sold to Synergy. This is the smallest portion of your saving with solar. So solar will work that when an appliance is running during the day in sunlight hours, if the inverter is outputting or if the system is outputting enough power, it will run that appliance for free. So instead of you drawing that power from the grid at 26 cents, so if you actually look here, we can see that this bill here, on this bill, we've got a tariff of 26 cents. Instead of it being charged at a rate of 26 cents per kilowatt, you're actually using it from the solar system, so you're getting it for free. Essentially, you're creating your own little power plant on your roof. So don't be alarmed if you're looking at this and thinking that is all your solar system is saving you. It is not. And what we will do is we will jump in and I will show you how to work out the larger portion of your savings, because most Synergy bills, if not all Synergy bills, will show you nothing to do with your savings from the direct power usage. They do not read that on the meter, and that's not information they provide. Now, let's jump in. So here we've got probably the most useful information to start the process, and that is when was the account period for. So 5th of April 2022, the 7th of June 2022, 64-day billing period. So that information is relevant because what we're going to do is a very simple calculation here. We're going to get what your system produced in that period. So how many kilowatts did your system give you in that period? And then we're going to simply subtract the amount of kilowatts, which is right here, you exported. So the discrepancy or the number, the difference is the amount of power you use directly from the system, and then you times that by your tariff of 26 cents, and that gives you the big portion of your savings. So instead of you getting it from Synergy, you got it for free from your solar, and that, as I say, will be the largest portion of your saving. Little credit is what you add on top. Really, I want to see that number lower because then I can say, you are using the bulk of your power during sunlight hours and you are getting the most from your system. So let's jump into the system and start getting this information. So this is a SolarEdge monitoring platform. You can get all the information of system production through all the platforms. You just need to go to the power and energy or the energy balance portion of your monitoring platform, and you can click month, and you can then work out based on the month. So I will eliminate the consumption and self-consumption bars here, so you will see what your system's produced every day across the month. Don't worry, you don't have to work out every single day because usually at the top of the page, it will specify what the system's produced that month. So far in July, the system has produced 304 kilowatts. Now, the reason why I am cheating a little bit in using SolarEdge is they do have this beautiful function here, which is billing cycle. So in this billing cycle, what I can do is I can put in the billing cycle we were looking at before, which is 5th of April to the 7th of June. Now, I have cheated for the sake of this video and put in the dates, which is the 5th of the 4th, 2022 to the 7th of the 6th, 2022. To do this, you hit this button here, you hit rolling days, put in the start date, which was the 5th of the 4th, how many days, which on your Synergy bill it gives you, hit the save button, and then it will spit out this information that we're after. So it's telling me that the system production was 1.76 megawatts. Is 1,000 kilowatts in a megawatt. So we have a total here of 1,760. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, the simple formula to this is that number there. So system production, take the amount that we've exported. So if we go to the export amount, I'll get my calculator back up. For the export amount, on the bill conveniently, we have net export on this line here, and we have the total amount, which is just these two numbers added together up here. They've obviously broke down the tariffs here, but adding these two numbers gives us this one. So nice and convenient. So we'll take it and we'll go 10, 4, 3 equals 717. Now, you will see if I go back to my monitoring platform, I know we've got a consumption meter on here, and you will see that self-consumption doesn't quite line up. But like I said at the start of the video, it won't line up exactly because we don't know what time they read the meter. So it is a very difficult scenario to get it exact. But sometimes you might find that day you use a lot of self-consumption. Other times you'll find you never. It's just working out or trying to make the best of the scenario that we're provided with. But like I said, this will be relatively close. So if we did minus the 717, I'll go back to the bill here. So we got the 717 number. That is the amount of power that we have used directly from the system. So we took the amount exported from the amount produced from the system, and we got 717. Now what we can do to work out how much savings that roughly is we can times that by what the tariff was. And the tariff, like I mentioned earlier, is down here, and that's 26.66 cents. So we will do 0.2666 equals $191.15 saving from the system. So what that means is this bill of $188, now I've had a credit, but the bill was actually $188. Of that bill, they saved $191. So without solar, their bill would have been $380. So we'll take $188 off because that's what they saved. We're back at that number of total savings. So $191. Now there is the little added bonus that we mentioned at the start, and that is you do get a credit. So that $34 does go on to that total amount. So if we plus that $34, that means that this house saved roughly $225 of electricity in this period. So that is hopefully a nice little snapshot of how to work out your savings on your Synergy bill. I will say it is a very simplistic way of doing it, but it is the easiest way for people who do not have consumption monitors. With consumption monitors, we have all the data there, so you don't need to do the rough estimate. So if I just jumped in, I would say, look, 670 kilowatts of self-consumption. I put that in there, 670 times 0.2666 equals $178, so slightly under what we'd worked out before, plus our $34 credit, so we're at $212. So with the consumption metering, it's a lot easier to track. But if you don't have the consumption monitoring, not to panic, the other way is pretty close to getting you an idea of what you're saving. If you've still got a very large bill and you've done this calculation and you can see that solar saved you a lot of power, what you want to look at is, are you exporting too much energy? So if you've got a big bill and you're exporting a lot of energy, It probably tells me that you're using too much power at night and not enough during the day. We want that export number to be lower. If you are getting a big bill and your synergy, and you do the calculation and you saved a lot from the solar, you didn't export much power, but the solar saved you a lot of money, then that's just telling me that your consumption is higher than what it needs to be. Or you need to look at ways of bringing your consumption down. So you can go one of two ways. You can increase your solar PV size, or if alternatively, if you're looking at it, we've just gone through a very hot summer in Perth for end of 2021 and beginning of 2022. A lot of people run their air cons into the ground. If that was you, then sometimes you just got to understand that maybe was an anomaly, and that's not how you would always run your air conditioner. But solar still would have at least helped reduce a big portion of what that bill would have been. If you do have any billing queries and you do this calculation and you can see the system's working and saving you a lot of money, then always the best bet is you do need to speak to Synergy with billing, with your queries on having a big bill. If the solar's working and producing the power what we want to see from it, then we don't have any control. And there is two scenarios that can happen. You can have a misread. So if someone's reading your meter and they read it incorrectly, then that can result in obviously getting a bill bigger than what you're expecting. The second part of it is you may have been estimated. So if your bill has been estimated, you just then need to speak with Synergy and arrange a rereading of the meter. Obviously explaining you've got solar, so an estimation is usually based off the area or your past habits around that time of year. So they are two scenarios that you might need to speak to them about. But if the system's producing power and you're using that energy, then you are definitely saving money. The main thing and focus for solar is always using that power during sunlight hours and making sure we're not exporting most of the power. Like I was saying at the start, we get 10 cents and 3 cents, which is nothing on what they charge you, which now is actually higher than the 26 cents. It has just recently gone up as I am doing this video. So it's all about using that energy as you are producing it in real time, and that is where you get the bulk of your savings. I hope you found this video useful. If you do have any questions about your system or you're wondering, is your system doing what you are expecting, we do have other videos of how to read your monitoring portal, and you can have a look at that in terms of what the data represents, and that's on our support tab in the website, or feel free to give the office a call on the support line. We are more than happy to jump in and have a look at the system and make sure everything looks all right from our end. Thank you.